I first started seeing LB in 2017. I'd seen him several times velvet scouting, but on my first hunt that year, he was the first buck I saw and really thought he had potential to be something in a couple years. I remember seeing movement back in the woods and seeing it was a pretty decent buck. I finally realized who it was and knew I wasn't interested in taking him. And I always kind of do a little joking thing in my head when I see a young buck like that, and I always kind of say, well, why don't you come back in 2 years? And he actually, last year when I killed him, he came out of the same spot where he came out of that year in 2017. We ended up finding his sheds. Well, my brother did with the tractor and planter, but when we got him, we weren't super impressed with the size of him. He's kind of spindly and broke some points. Well, the planter broke some points too. Going into 2018, I put my cameras up the same as I always do and started getting pictures of LB right away. He was there often, and going out velvet scouting him, I got really close to him and knew he was a really nice deer. We were guessing probably in the 150s, and I was hoping to give him another year, really. A couple different nights that summer, I got really close to him velvet scouting, within 50 yards probably, and I got this gorgeous velvet video of him about 2 or 3 different nights, and check him out. I never had many encounters with him that season until I think January 13th. I was hunting in this snowy day, and I got this beautiful view of him coming out to eat, and he comes to the standing corn, and we give him a pass hoping he grows next year. Ended up finding one shed off of him after the 2018 season, and again was kind of not really impressed with the size, but keeps breaking them points off, but was really happy that he made it through season and couldn't wait to see what he turned into next year. The summer of 2019, I was getting seldom pictures of LB. He was there often, but he wasn't giving any close pictures, any good pictures. But he sure looked like he was growing quite a bit, and so I started velvet scouting, and I seen him almost every single night and knew how big he really was, knew the points he was putting on, and he was a giant. So season's getting ready to open, and we knew we had to get LB early because every year he broke off tines, and this year he's got all them stickers, so I'm terrified that he's going to break those off. I started checking cameras, and I had a daylight picture of him on October 4th, so I knew that's where I had to be, and I was going to be there the first good day I could. I was keeping my eye on the weather, and saw that October 12th a cold front was coming through, and it was going to be high pressure and a perfect day in my opinion. So I knew where I was headed. Check out the hunt.
Mark.
So what you don't see in that video is I missed, and what a gut punch out was. What an absolute perfect scenario, perfect video of him coming out like that, and I blew it. I knew I had the perfect scenario panning out because he was walking about 60 yards for most of that time, and I knew he was going to come right to the corner of that corn because that little buck did it and some does did that earlier. And so I wasn't in any hurry, and I didn't want to shoot him at 60 yards. And I had that corn ranged at 35 yards and was waiting for that shot. So he's coming in, and I really knew I was in the game when he turns to commit to that corner. And on he came, and I had my bow ready, had everything ready. I got full drawn perfectly, and I put my 30 yard pin on him and let the arrow go. And it felt like somebody kicked me in the gut when you see that arrow just skim over the top of his back. So after the miss, it's back to harvest for me. Had to get back in a tractor and wonder if I was ever going to get another chance at him. So I kept my eye on the weather and saw that October 16th was going to be a pretty good day, and told my dad if there's any chance I'd sure like to go try and hunt him again. And turns out that it really was, and it was kind of a crummy day, but it had rained enough that we weren't harvesting. So I told Dad, I said, if we're not going to be working, I'm going to go sit. So I go back to the same spot in hopes that maybe somehow he could come out again, which I think is very doubtful. But the wind was a little bit different, so I couldn't sit in the same stand. I kind of had to sit on the other side of the field, and I absolutely could not believe it when I saw that same little buck that was with him the first night come out, and I'm binocular in the woods going, there's no way he's going to be behind him, and there he was. I seen his antlers back in the woods, and he comes out of the same spot coming into that standing corn again. And I didn't have my camera because of the setup, so I don't have any of the footage, but it takes him quite a while. He feeds out, comes to the corn, then he gets on the other side of the corn that I'm at, and it's about a 50-yard shot this time, but I shot and hit absolutely perfect. And he took off running and ran just straight to the woods, and I knew he was done for, so had to call the group and get a search party going.
Jeez. Look at that. That's my partner.
Hey, he didn't miss him. He snipped him.
Oh my gosh.
Look
at that.
That's my partner. Dude, that's a papa. Come on with it.
Come on.
Dude, he's a beast.
Come on, man.
What'd you say? Look how long this bean is. It's 30 inches.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8,
got 'em
9, 10,
all.
11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 points.
And a drop.
And
Yeah.
it. Oh. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 point typical
Yes.
on the left.
Brad and Minges here with Drive 4 Outdoors, and I've got my buck. Buck I named LB. I've known him for probably 3 years now. I got sheds off of him for 2 years and watched him all summer. He came in perfectly about 4 or 5 days ago, and I got awesome video and everything, and I shot just over his back, and you can actually see he's got a scratch on his back where I hit him. And so I came back in today. He was a little cold, cloud covered stuff. I wasn't too excited about it if he'd come back, and he came back perfectly, exactly the same as he did the other night, and I put a good shot on him tonight.